Mm. Give us just a minute, folks.
Is it just me or is he frozen?
Well,
welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Streamyard, it just fucking did it again. And I'm going to let them know. Like right now, folks. So excuse me, I am going to be typing the support thing in while I'm talking. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. Hope you're all going well. We're here on Sunday to discuss the final chapter of the Book of Wick. So with me, I got Nerd with the Scar. Kate, how you doing?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And Fade Salvation, how you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be with everyone.
So yeah, the fourth chapter of the Book of Wick. Farewell, Mr. Wick. The Baba Yaga. As Killer Hawken says. I mean, Scott Adkins in a fat suit, man. Folks, you know you've gone nuts when you do Scott Adkins in a fat suit. So yeah, before we get started, I'll let everybody know my schedule. The Tuesday I have the Tuesday theme stream, which is Live Die Repeat at 1:30 p.m. Wednesday is Tuesday night is Bar Room Podcast on Society Reviews channel. And Wednesday night is Ones and Twos with Halloween 2 with Mara Jade on her channel. And Thursday is going to be Silver Bullet on my channel at 8 o'clock for the other round of singles. And I just got a thing from the people at StreamYard. Can I send a screenshot of what I'm seeing in the studio currently? You can attach it to this chat. And chat screen attach file. Okay, I guess I could do a screenshot. I mean, nothing's going on right now, but
I mean, you could maybe timestamp the video whenever we're done or something.
That's
and
an idea.
Yeah.
Send it that way.
I mean, that's basically what I'm going to do. I mean, but yeah, folks, we're dealing with some technical difficulties, and the support people on StreamYard is giving us problems. But we will also be talking about John Wick Chapter 4. Let's see here. Come on. My phone also is being a prick. There we go. They want me to do all this stuff while I'm live, mind you, folks. By the way, Fade and Kate, do I have your permission because your faces are shown?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, good.
Sure.
Is that not going to work?
Try
this.
Anyway. So yes, John Wick Chapter 4 starts off roughly about a week or two after, or I'm guessing like a week after the events of 3, because John needs a time to heal from his getting launched off a roof. And
yeah, that would have killed
that would kill anyone.
Like that was definitely like Like
But I
your back's
love the
broken.
yeah, he's punching the pole, or he's punching the post, getting his strength back up. And I love the what the Bowery King says as he's coming in. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal pain. I am the way to go among the lost. Before me there were no created things, but those that last forever. As do I. Abandon all hope, you who are about to enter here. You are now in the presence of the motherfucking king. I love it. And then he laughs and lifts up the suit. You ready, John? Yeah. I mean, that whole scene is basically like hell is coming and the war is starting. So it's now
Mm.
up to the first people to launch their first salvos, so to speak. And no, hold on there. Sorry, I have light on the side here. And before we get any further, hello to Vanya. And hello to Geek
Hello.
Detective Pierce in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. And
Hello.
yeah, all right, now it's showing up. And believe me, I'm clicking on them, and it takes like forever for the stuff to show up, folks. So I am sorry on my end. It's probably slow internet, I guess. I don't know. But shouldn't be, because we have a new or we have high internet or good internet and new modem or thingy. But yeah.
Hmm.
So Wick is then going after the one who sits above the table that we saw in the last movie.
Yep.
Except that it's not the last guy. Apparently, they elect they elect their elders, and he wants his ring back and his freedom. That ring is gone with the elder that came before me. Killing me won't, and if you think that killing me is going to end this, it'll only make it worse. The only peace you will ever have, the only freedom you will ever have, is in death. And he's like, or so killing, or
Foreshadowing?
I'm afraid you, yeah, I'm afraid you've come here for nothing. Yeah, about that. He shoots the elder, and I'm like, oh, this dude just declared a complete war against
Mm.
the table. Alrighty, so yeah, I'm letting, or all right, so they'll have to get, they'll get back to me later. But it is really good. Or when this movie came out, I had to sail the high seas for it, so I could do my review early on. And I have a theory, folks, at the end of this stream. So make sure you watch till the end. I have a theory on, is John really an orphan? So and I might even do a video on it. So Lance Reddick has a guy show up, played by the great Clancy Brown, the Kurgan, Savage Opress, and a slew of so many other great characters throughout the years of his time as an actor. Most notably, the Kurgan from Highlander. Happy Halloween, ladies. I mean, you just don't get better than that. But he's a harbinger. Now, we've had adjudicators, we've had harbingers, we've had high table members, we've had assassins and whatnot. The harbinger is the next evolution of lore expansion in this movie that basically is either gives you good news or bad news. Now, a lot of people remember that the adjudicator had made All Is Well in New York, right? I mean, they agreed that the table will respect Winston's authority here as he continues to serve. This harbinger basically says this hotel is now condemned And I'm like, oh shit. I don't need, or they always speak in coded speak, so chances are they're getting rid of the damn thing.
Mm.
And we learned that this Marquis Vincent Bisset de Gramont is now made Autem Imperator, which means absolute authority, essentially. Let me see if I have it here. Also, he's missing a finger, similar to John Wick. So, yeah, he's got this thing going on here, for those of you who can see the screen.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's like, the manager, please. And it's like, oh, damn, he related to Wick? But the fact that Wick declared war against the table, I was quite curious about how this played out. One of the most interesting shots was the aerial bird's eye view of the shootout later on. Yes. Yes, the shootout later on. We will get into that. A lot of people call it bird's eye. I call it the God's eye view because this is directly just top down, man. Where bird's eye, I feel is more at an angle upward like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I get it. Most people would call it bird's eye. So, Autem Imperator. Let's see here. Oh shit, I don't have it up here. But yeah, it basically means as emperor, loose or directly translated. But Lance Reddick, folks, this movie released a week after Lance Reddick passed away. And when I saw that his character gets shot in the next scene, I'm like, oh shit. That's just, wow, they went there. But obviously it was while he was still alive that this was shot. So
Right.
it's like, holy fuck, they killed my boy Sharon. And man, such is life, which is a very big line in this movie. Such is life, the defiance, the acceptance. And he says, or Winston tells him, he's like, this will not be pleasant. Such is life. So, I mean, Lance Reddick, rest in peace, man. God bless you and all that you have done for this franchise. It won't be the same without you. I'm sorry, it won't. The dude was such a freaking badass.
And he had like a certain charisma on screen too. I mean, from what he's done, from Fringe to Destiny back in the day when I used to play it, and other stuff such as that.
I mean, the last place where his character was, or his character, I believe, I'm not sure, still stands there, or they made a memorial area where he is in the game. So yeah. So we are introduced to the Marquis Vincent Bisset de Gramont, and well, Bill Skarsgård, Pennywise, the Marquis.
Oh,
you have a terrible fucking French accent.
Yeah,
his accent is fucking bad.
It's awful. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. He's like, do you believe in woos, Mr. Manager? It's like, if you were French, you would say Monsieur Manager, not Mr. Manager. But yeah, it is just terrible. And he's like, I do. And consequences and second chances. And he tells him, second chances are the refuge of men who fail, which is exactly true. It really is. And then we see how he's measuring him up, stirring quite loudly his tea with his fingers all out, splayed. And he's like, I shot him, yet he still lives. And he's like, with respect, Mr. Marquis, my hotel, your hotel, you see, that is the problem. A lot of those at the table would blame this atrocity on New York. The high table has tolerated this fucking place for far too long. And so when the hourglass finally hits 0 and we see the Continental go up, boom. I'm like, in the middle of New York City, without any panic, without anybody screaming in the crowd. That place is a main throughway. What's going on?
Well,
you just blew up a building in the middle of New York.
Like I said in the first one, I mean, I do believe they have like the cops under their thumbs on that.
Yeah.
Because the way they clean up the fights and all that to where it looks great the next day or something, like no one was even there.
Oh yeah, the cleanup crew. Well, good luck cleaning that up in the middle of frickin' the day, but yeah. And we got a €2
and you would
super
think
chat.
that. Ooh, nice. You'd think that like normal people just doing their business, walking down the street, would be like, "Hey, wasn't that weird?" It's not like Men in Black where they can like neuralize everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
You'd think there'd be some chat about that. Like, did you guys see that building blow up?
Yeah. So thank you to Vanya for the €2 super chat, or is that euros or pounds or something? But yes, thank you for that. And he says for Lance, yes, because Lance tries to talk to the Marquis, and he's like, by all means, the Continentals and their managers have always been a beacon of, or an example of the rules that nobody is above the table. And he's and yet we are here, Sir, Mr. Wick. We are not here because of John Wick. He is simply the face of your failure, Mr. Manager. And he then, after he blows up the Continental, he looks back to Winston, and he's like, "You are no longer New York," which is a callback to the third one, and we are New York City. I love that. But it's like, and because you see Winston squeeze his fist, and you hear the audible knuckle crack. It's like, yes, I can do that, folks. And I just wanted to put it close enough to the microphone so that you could all hear it. But yeah, he's like, you are nothing. You are excommunicado, and therefore you no longer require the services of concierge. Pointing the gun at Winston, boom, shoots Sharon instead, and it's like, oh dear God, he just killed him. And this was, again, a week earlier, we had all heard the news that Lance Reddick passed away. So it's like, oh dear God. So, yeah, that happened. And he's like, it should have been me. Yes, you are right. Now you should reflect on why that is, and maybe one of us will have benefited from this conversation. And then he's walking out, and he tells his Spanish-speaking guy, this dude's French, he has a Spanish goon, bring me Kane. And so we are introduced to Kane, Donnie Yen.
Now, a quick question on back to Winston and all that. They didn't show anything about the adjudicator that said, if this comes back to us, it will bite us in the butt, too.
I really wish they had, because I wish that they would have had, like, they could have extended this movie a little bit more with the scene of him finding her wherever she was at the time and be like, hey, adjudicator. Boom. And it would have just been perfect. Have a scene where he Baba Yaga'd the adjudicator.
Yeah, that or
You
tortured
know?
her or something, made her wish that she didn't
No, he's
make
not a
that
torturer.
deal.
He just kills. He just kills. He's
Yeah,
not
but
a
I mean,
or
he can.
Wick doesn't torture.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, he has certain people underneath him that like to do that kind of thing
Yeah,
too,
except that
I
he
believe.
wasn't except that he would rather do it himself.
True.
So, yeah. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the adjudicator resolved and revenged.
Same.
Maybe she
Unfortunately, we
didn't want to come
didn't.
back for the 4th movie, or maybe she had other.
I'm guessing she was
I don't
busy,
know.
probably. Yeah.
Right, or I don't
Yeah.
know what the actress's schedule was like.
Yeah.
Mm.
But we then are introduced to Kane, Donnie Yen, who appears to be blind in this movie. This would be the second blind character he plays, next to his Rogue One character.
I am one with the Force. Yeah.
And the Force is yeah. Which I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's
It is
let's
such a
not go into that.
yeah. We won't talk about that. But he, I love how he is listening to his daughter play the violin, and he then shows up at the Marquis place or estate, and it's like, "We got a name for you. With respect, I'm no good to you. I'm retired. That's not for you to decide." And it's like, "We give you a name," and he's like, "You came close, too close. You put her in danger. You have an agreement with the table. We give you a name, you give us a life, or we take one." He just reaches over, grabs the freaking card, opens it up. "I know the deal I made," and he just. Or I love how he's going across the card. Basically, I'll use this envelope as the example. He's going across the card, and as his fingers move here, as he's reading the Braille, Wick jump, and it stops at like J. And so it's like, "A former associate of yours." He was, and a friend. And it's like, oh, damn, dude. The way that storytelling is important when it comes to movies that have blind characters, where when the reading of the Braille, where it only goes part way, and you show that it's translating into John Wick, his pause says he knows the person, and it's only confirmed when he says that a former associate of yours. So he's not. So he then kneels and says, "I will serve. I will be of service." And I believe it is, "I have served. I will be of service," but whatever. We are then brought to the Osaka Continental in Japan.
I love this
Riot
hotel.
Kitty. Yes.
Right.
Good to see you, Riot. Always a pleasure to see one of the hack crew in the chat. She's former hack crew, but she's always still hack crew, folks. Riot's one of the loyals and one of the channel's top friends. To the point where, yeah, she has family in a way. So we are introduced to Shamier Anderson, who plays the tracker, going into the Osaka Continental, and this actress who is a singer plays Akira, the concierge, and she's like, "We do not allow animals on the premises. Emotional support animal. She's your emotional support animal." "No, I'm hers." I mean, this dude is just so great.
Joke right there.
So we then see the legendary Hiroyuki Sanada, who is Shimazu. Folks, I make it no secret that I am a fan of Hiroyuki Sanada. And this is also the second movie that he has. This is the second movie that he has played with Keanu Reeves. The first being 47 Ronin. I've seen him in Wolverine, Avengers Endgame, as brief as it was, Last Samurai, this movie, 47 Ronin, as I already said. I mean, he does his characters have a lot of weight in them, even though some of them are just brief instances. And he gives off a lot of wisdom in this, and where he's talking with his concierge, and it's like, or we get a mention of the Tarasovs from John Wick 1. The Tarasovs who have requested an audience, and it's like, oh, nice. Trying to convince my dad to watch John Wick 3 and 4 before the Continental TV show. Nice.
No, cool.
And you're always welcome, right? So another thing that she says, everything he touches dies, because everybody's worried about New York because, well, the Continental in New York was laid waste to. And hold on, there we go. And he's like, do not presume to tell me about somebody I have known longer than you have been alive. Great freaking line.
Yeah.
And then we see that there are these guys that are playing like a card game or just hanging around. And then we see these big fucking sumo dudes. All of these people are wearing the bulletproof chic of Japan. So even the freaking robes, kimonos, all of them are bulletproof. So it's like, oh, gosh. Hold on, folks. Kate, take over.
You know, I liked seeing that it was more of we've just been kind of based in New York, other than, you know, the scenes where he goes in the last one where we meet the guy from Game of Thrones. But I like kind of extending the universe, if that makes sense, like deepening it and getting into like, okay, the High Table has a reach that far surpasses what we thought in the beginning, if that makes sense. You know, I like lore building, I like world building, I like that that sense of like, okay, we know where the story's going and we're going to build on it, especially because as the John Wick movies get further along, it does seem less about story and just more of like, how many more cool scenes can we get John Wick of killing people, you know? Not to say that they're bad movies, but in my opinion, they get less great as it goes on, just because it's just talking scene, shooting scene, talking scene, action scene, talking scene, and it's like we're either getting exposition or we're getting shooty shooty bang bang. And don't get me wrong, I love the shooty shooty bang bang. So when we do get these moments of like world building, I really enjoy it.
Shooty shooty bang bang, which is basically a callback to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, folks. There's movies you should all watch. But yeah. Let's see here. And we then see that he is indeed hosting somebody who's excommunicado, which he's not supposed to do. And he's talking. Yep, Shimazu is talking with Wick on the roof. And he's like, a good death only comes after a good life. You and I left a good life, or left a good life a long time ago, my friend. And he also brings him up to date. Killing the elder was a mistake. He just destroyed the New York Continental and killed its concierge. Winston, alive for now. He's excommunicado. Would love a spinoff for Mr. Nobody. Yeah, Vanya, I agree. I mean, yeah, or his character is definitely interesting enough to warrant it because he's got ambitions. He wants $40 million so that he can retire to an estate and have his dog there with him and whatnot. That's basically what it is. And he also learns that the bounty on John Wick is 18 million currently, which it was 16 million at the end of John Wick Chapter 3. So it jumped up 2 million. And so then the tracker notices that the Marquis men are at the Osaka, and they meet with the manager, or they seek the manager, and she has the hotel evacuated discreetly, and she goes to get her father, and she's like, the high table, what is he doing here? And it's like, Jesus Christ, you've killed us all. And that's when he tells him, he's like, oh, of course. We have reason to believe that this hotel is providing services to one who is excommunicated or excommunicado. That is a grave accusation. And we require access to your hotel. Of course, you will have it. But as you know, any business, including your kind of business, is not permitted on continental grounds. So I will have to ask that you surrender your weapons, please. And they're like, don't make the same mistake that fool in New York made. Fools talk, the arrogant hide. What was the other line?
Wise men talk or speak.
Fools talk, wise men listen.
Fools talk, cowards are silent, but wise men listen.
Yeah. Yes, but what? Yes, there. Thank you. And
little nugget of truth, a little proverb.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when Kane comes in, and we now learn that, well, Kane knows Shimazu. And he's like, you're with them. No, just, I'm hearing myself. I'm hearing myself.
On an
okay,
echo?
am I hearing myself still? Yeah. I think it's on your side, Kate, because Fade's... Right. Yeah.
Let's see here. Which is weird, because it was all fine and dandy like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Still hearing.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see here. Well, now that she has herself muted. But, let's see here. Damn thing. So, yeah. We then see that, or I also do like that when he tells them to, he tells his men, we have guests, get ready to show them hospitality, which is code for arm up, we got uninvited guests.
Yeah, so, shit's about to go down, is basically what he was saying.
And the Marquis men basically say, okay, we deem this place deconsecrated, if you want to pull that crap. And they step forward, and he orders an attack because all of them have their bows and arrows. And I love it. It's like he puts his arm up, stops one, but another arrow goes through the neck of the Afro guy, and it's like, well, Superfly.
Poor Afro guy.
Yeah, that didn't work for you. But it's like, dude, seriously, your ballistic chic stopped an arrow into your arm, or going into your arm. I mean, it's probably going to hurt, but yeah. And we all saw the super bulletproof dudes, the emissaries, coming into the hotel in Chapter 3. Well, they have the same ones come in for Japan, except that they all have samurai masks as well as the armor, which is pretty cool. So Concierge and Wick love it when it's like intruders in the hotel. So she takes off her kimono, and she has this black suit on, and it's like, I could get behind that. I mean, I could get all in that too, but yeah, it's like, damn, girl, she looks good in it. And you get the great choreography. I mean, that's one of the things that they do very well in these movies is choreography, fight choreography. Except there was one scene where John Wick is fighting during this whole shoot stuff where it's all happening, and he has the nunchucks, and he's smacking around a couple of armored guys, and this one guy is getting up and then stumbles against this big old drum, and it's like, then he finally gets up, and that's when John finally is able to take him out. And I'm thinking to myself, either you were concussed or you just realized that he wasn't ready to kill you yet. So, we also see that the bulletproof suits have increased like beyond drastically in only a few weeks' time. I mean, remember, folks, these movies take place over the course of weeks. Weeks. And their armor, the bulletproof suits, are freaking just the bullets basically bouncing off of people. The Marquis men. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm not buying it.
It's like Hollywood did that thing where they're like bigger is better, and it's not always better, because we wanted, at least I want John Wick to be based in reality, and so far it had been grounded in reality. And then that was a little bridge too far for me, where I was like, come on, man, like, really?
I mean, the ballistic chic, I mean, at least in the second one, he says, or very painful, I'm afraid. So yeah, it does hurt. But now in the third and the fourth ones, it just gets ridiculous.
Yeah,
because they're not reacting when they get shot. I'm sorry, folks, but you would react if you got shot with frickin' rounds like that.
Yeah. Even if you had like a normal like bulletproof vest, you can still break a rib, get some internal bleeding or whatever.
Bruising, definitely, yeah.
And then you get these suits that are like, you know, thinner than a ballistics, jacket. It's like, oh, it's fine. I just got shot. No big deal.
I mean, we saw in the first movie where he gets shot with the bulletproof vest on, and he gets blasted off his feet.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and these guys are just taking the same kind of shots, and it's nothing to them.
Right.
I mean, folks, as much as we love the movie, we also do have our own criticisms. You know? I mean, I'm not going to just drool all over this movie and say that it's Jesus' gift to mankind. This movie has its problems. So,
yeah,
and I am going to point them out. So,
sad to say too, when I went to go see this movie, I fell asleep in the theater during one of the fight scenes because I thought it just went a little bit too long. And it's not like, not saying it's a bad movie or whatnot, but it's just like, okay, can we just get to the final boss scene already? Like, let's go.
Right. Let me guess. It was the steps. It was the steps.
No, it was the fight scene before the steps. But the steps did make me roll my eyes, and I was like, dear God.
Yeah. I mean, he gets all the way up there, and then he has to fall all the way back down. And
it was over dramatic, the fall. Like, there were several points where you're like, okay, stop rolling. Okay, stop rolling. Nope, you can stop rolling now.
Like, okay, dude.
Now like, grab something, dang it.
Yeah. Right. No, he just kept going. It's like, oh,
he
man.
just tumble. And then he stops a little bit, but then he uses his foot. It's like, what, you didn't think I would see that you would use your foot to continue the fall? Where he uses his foot to kind of give him more momentum to go into another roll.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, this movie needed a lot more suspension of disbelief, as Geek Detective Pierce says. Visually, it looked good, but I did see some parts drag longer than it should. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like they cut important stuff that would have built the story and the characters to get like more cool action scenes. And it's like, bro, we have had 4 movies of John Wick being a badass killing people. We know that he's amazing. We know the choreography is great. We know that he's really good at firearms and handling them and discharging and, reloading really quickly. Like, we get it. Like, we get it.
And then we see Kane is eating in the shadows, and the guy has to finally tell him, like, get to work, man. Do your job. And he's like, puts his... And I love how he uses these motion sensors. In this. Yeah. He's blind,
like just puts
so
it
he
up,
uses
and
motion
he's like,
sensors.
it's like in one of the scenes he puts it up too high or something. He's like, wait a minute. So
Yeah,
he
he's
has
like,
some kind of sense on, height and everything.
well, yeah, because this is not me being racist. This is just me pointing it out. Asians are shorter than most. Yes, you do got the occasional tall Asian, but tall for Asians is like 6 feet. And that's it. If you see anybody that is over 6 feet that is Asian,
Godzilla!
Good genes. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
they're probably...
racist. No,
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist
okay.
that.
Oh my god!
Great.
But yeah, anyway, you were saying, Kate?
No, I was saying I have a couple of friends from high school, and their Filipino mom dad is like 5'6" at the tallest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then him and his brothers were like 5'11". I think one of them hit 6'1", but it was like, oh, so you guys were raised in the Philippines, you guys were raised in the United States. Like it was like I think it might have something to do with like the food that we have, or all
Good
of the
eating. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a
Good
doctor,
chow.
but it's just funny seeing this like 5'2", 5'4" mom and dad, and then like giant comparatively sons. All three of them are like,
most kids will outgrow their parents.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad and mom. My mom is like 5'8", 5'9", I think, where my dad is 5'10", 5'11", and my brothers and I are all above 6 feet. But but I also have an uncle on my mom's side. Her brother is like 6'6". So yeah, and also on my dad's side, we also have 6 footers as well. So we got the dominant side of the growth gene on both sides. So anyway, we get to Wick versus Kane, because we're not going to we can't go scene by scene, man. So we're going to cover the most stuff here. And I got to say, man, he's like, John, Kane, they gave you my name. Yeah. I'm sorry. Me too. And then they just start shooting at each other. It's like, oh, shit, dude. You should have stayed out, John, for all of our sakes. I tried. Didn't try hard enough. I mean, it's a great fight. And I love how he has to stay still, because the second he makes a noise, Kane will know. He's like, John, are you dead, John? And then he sees a gun, leans just the tiniest bit, and breaks a piece of glass underneath him. And it's like, oh, shit. Move. So the fight between Donnie Yen and Keanu Reeves, my gosh, man. Donnie Yen moves quick. I mean, if you guys have seen him, have you guys seen the Ip Man movies?
Yes.
I have not.
Holy
great films.
Crap.
That's a fast dude. He's just quick. Yeah, he's a jumpy little dude. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, also in Rogue One, he's pretty quick too. But holy shit, Ip Man.
I did see the Rogue One.
Yeah. He is that quick. So then we see that John Wick finally escapes, because the tracker, Mr. Nobody, interrupts the fight. So it's like, okay, getting those two out of the way. And then the way Donnie Yen does the blind assassin is able to detect. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say that blindness really hinders you. Sight gone, hearing, touch, smell.
You have to rely on all those other senses.
Yeah.
And they are heightened. They compensate. They literally compensate for it.
And what's
all of
amazing
that
too is he
Go ahead.
made it a way to where it benefits him with, as we saw with the sensors and everything too, where he had him all set up and everything, especially when he was shooting at first too. Like he shoots up top of the roof and then he realizes, oh, it's too high. Boom, boom, boom. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see him learn. Yeah.
Mm.
And he also reaches for the top of his cane and then puts his gun over his hand like this. And as soon as he hears his thing go off, boom, he zeroes in on the sound. So yeah, it's real, or it really is great. And then our John's getting away, and the tracker stops him. He's like, "Evening, John. I don't know you, but I know you." And he saves him. He's like, checks his phone. There's an increase to 20 million now, and he's like, "What's the number?" Not enough. I need you to stay alive, John. I need you to stay alive, John. And
that way I can get more money.
Yep, because he's or just keep doing what you're doing. And I love how the dog is goes for people's nuts and all that. He's like nuts. It's great.
Every time.
But then we get the saddest fight between them, which is Koji versus Kane. And Karaoke has already been shot, and he's like, "You owe John Wick nothing. He has no marker on you. You must have fallen far indeed if you think that loyalty is only built with markers."
Right.
And it really is great because John apparently grew up with Koji. Semi, I'm guessing, or he knew Koji from his younger years.
Yeah. I kind of wish that they explained more into that story on that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Between Koji and John.
I mean,
cut the falling down the stairs scene for a scene of that explanation.
And I do agree with you, Kate. But he also says to his daughter, as he said to his daughter, "Do not presume to tell me about somebody I have known longer than you have been alive." She is what, 20, 25 years old? So he's known John Wick for probably like 30, 40 years. I mean, Keanu Reeves is in his 50s, I do believe. Oh, yeah. And we then get the small stab behind Koji's back, and then he's like, "Just enough. Look at me. Even a blind man can tell that you've lost. Look after your daughter." And he's like, I am. And so he goes after him again, and then that's where Koji has no choice but to finish it. And she's very pissed, which is very fitting considering the culture. It is a very revengeanistic culture where these people, or if you have any sort of sense of Bushido, you will know that you do not let a death in your family go unpunished. So she reaches for the sword, and he's like, "Don't live.
Then come find me."
So then when she's leaving, he's like, "I'll be waiting for you." And he knows, because he knows she'll go after him. And, well, we do know that eventually she does, which we'll get to later. And we then see that, well, let's see here. John is at the train station, and she comes in, and she's like, "My father," or who is he? "He was a friend. My father is dead because of you. Everything and everyone around you dies. Either you kill him or I will." And then
John's like, I understand.
Yep. Because he understands that she has lost her father. She won't let it go unanswered. And Kate, you got pixelated. Okay, you're back now.
There we go.
Pixelated to such a degree, it's like, what the fuck?
Sorry, I had to go fix the problem that my dog was barking at.
Was it a spider?
No, someone knocked on the door not my door, but the door beside me, and then my dog was like, "Roar!" And so I hope you guys didn't hear him going wacko. I think I cut it
no, I
before.
didn't.
Okay.
So now we are in New York, where the Bowery King meets with Winston. I need to see him. The last time you saw him, you shot him off a roof. It was, or I had no choice. They held all the cards. Yep, and he's like, killing a man can turn him into a martyr. Letting him live tells the world he is either a turncoat or a coward. And what are you? Aggrieved. I love that scene. So the Marquis then wishes to, or is in Paris, and the Harbinger comes up, and he's like, I don't see how laying waste to Continentals gets you any closer to killing John Wick. The point, or it is not about killing John Wick, it is about killing the idea of John Wick. And he's like, the bloodshed in Osaka was unnecessary. The bloodshed was the point. And basically, anybody who is attached to John Wick needs to die. So, he wants to kill the idea of John Wick. And we then see the tracker and Kane. He's like, he will make it your choice. And it's like, he meets with, so he talks with the tracker, and the tracker's like, he's like, how did you find him? Pay me and I'll tell you. And he's like, how much would such services require? 25 million plus a matching donation to my 401k. And he's like, $50 million? Are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, we found him once. We will do so again. Before or after he kills you? I mean, so he tries 20. 23. Or like me a little more. 23. I like you. And he's like me a little more. 23. And so he shakes his hand, and then he brings it over and just puts a knife through it. And that scene. I don't look at it. I don't look at it. It's like, because the dog is about to get shot. And he gets the dog to talk to, or toss the dog down.
But barking like, because
his master's in distress. Yeah. And he's like, what is that? What the fuck is this? A choice. You can either pull the knife out or you can pull your hand out. One tells me that you are committed only to yourself. Another tells me you are committed to the cause. Which kind of person are you? I do look away because he pulls his hand out.
Yeah.
Splitting his hand from here to here. And then, I don't care who you think you are. That doesn't heal ever.
There's too many moving parts in there. That's your hand's a goner. There's too much going on in there.
Your hand movement is forever impaired after that.
Yeah.
I mean, folks, to give you a small idea, I once punched a concrete wall when I was 13, and I could do this with this hand where my fingers go all the way down. That's how far they go on the hand that punched a concrete wall, because these two knuckles here got broke. Yeah. They got broke, and I didn't know that. So they never healed properly. So I can't go any further than that without the fingers pitching forward. Where I can do it like this, if I go any further, the fingers go down. And I can't bend that without the other fingers bending too. So yeah, your hand, very important. If you screw up your hand, a lot of shit can go wrong with them. So he then squeezes his hand to shake it and then wipes the blood off. And it's like, no, just no.
Yeah. That's a no for me too. Yeah.
I would have just gotten the knife out and just, all right.
Yeah.
Just cut.
So Wick. Yeah. So Wick meets Winston, and he also pulled a marquee pin off of one of the guys he killed. Also, I did notice that one of the people that Akura kills was also a female. One of the Marquis soldiers. One of them was a female redhead. So it's like, oh cool.
Ginger representation.
Yeah, right. Too bad they were a soulless nobody villain. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah. So then we see that, Sharon's plot, and it says, "Vivamus moriendum est, amicum melis. To live, we must die, faithful friend." And we learn that the only way to kill or to end this is to basically challenge the Marquis to a high table duel, which John Wick believes are a myth. And he's like, wrong. The cold, hard fact. Now, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but in this scene, Ian McShane has the whitest fucking teeth. I'm guessing they were dentures.
Did he get whitening recently?
Because he was talking like he definitely had dentures. He was talking like he definitely had dentures.
Huh. You know, I thought the same thing about who's the guy? His name is Ben. Last name starts with an M. He's the bad guy in Ready Player One and in Rogue One. His teeth are just too. Huh? Mendelsohn, I think is his last name. Yeah. His teeth are like too perfect. He either has veneers or dentures or something. And I thought something similar for this one. I was just like, oh, what's wrong? What's up with your teeth, bro? Why are they too good?
Well, it wasn't just that. It was that the way that he spoke,
the lisp,
as well as no, it's like there's a cold,
the tiny amount of like he's not used to it in his mouth or something. Yeah,
I'm guessing that is it, because in all the other movies, you never seen him have that problem. So Ian McShane, I guess, got old enough that he needed dentures. And boy, did he have some white ones. He's a good actor. Don't get me wrong, folks. I love Ian McShane. Great actor. Try to kill an idea. That's arguably a fool's errand, to be honest. Yeah, because you only serve to make it if you don't have the resources. If you don't have the resources to adequately kill the idea, you only risk making it more pronounced and stronger. First time I saw that, I was like, damn. Yeah, the knife thing. So then we learned that the risk, or he's like, I don't sit at the table. Well, your family does. I don't have a family. The Riscaroma tore my ticket. Well, then I suggest you get your ass to Berlin and get it mended. And it's like, yeah. Or pick a plot. Nope. Still there?
Yeah.
Oh, nope. We lost.
Oh, no, she's back.
She'll be back, folks. She'll be back. We shall wait.
Huh.
There she is.
It's showing that I'm still in. That's so weird. Nothing cut on my end.
Yeah, it was weird. You like cut out for a second on my end.
Well, she still got the circle of death right now on my end.
I mean, she's got.
Okay, I can hear her now.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yes, very strange indeed.
Because I have full bars on my Wi-Fi. Everything's great on my end. I'm getting
there we go.
Good internet connection.
No, it was just a weird glitch in the Matrix. Yeah. So we go to Berlin because I love this. They don't mess around in this one. They're just pushing the story forward further. And he's in Berlin and he goes to the Riscaroma, where what's his name is there as well, sees it, and he turns over his guns to the basket lady in the front. She's like, nice revolver. Yeah, vintage. And then he goes to talk to the father and he's like, I need to speak with Piotr. And the father just brings up a freaking shotgun and he's like, And he's just like, he's like, oh, gets blasted back. And it's like, oh shit, nice suit. Yes, thanks. But then we see that he's lynched up, noosed up. He's in a noose, Wick in a noose. And Tonks from Harry Potter comes in, all Russian instead of British, and is very pissed off about Wick. And he's like, that's for Pyotr to decide. Pyotr is dead. After you put a bullet in the elder's head, the Marquis had a bullet put in Pyotr's. And in true Russian fashion, he sent us the bill. And it's like, well, we have a common enemy. He's like, and how do you think you can help? By killing this Marquis. They'll just appoint another. Not if I kill him in a duel. And this stops her, and so she looks over to her elder and is like, the rules are clear, or the laws are clear. He can do this if he has a family and a crest. So she basically makes the deal. It's like, we will give you, or how many people did you have to kill to get out? A lot. Well, to get back in, you'll just need to kill one. Give me a name. Killer Harkin. And so we then get Groot, John Wick style. Klaus will bring you. I am Klaus. John, I am Klaus. And it's like, what the fuck? I am Klaus. I mean, seriously, Chad Stahelski. Why would you do that? Why go I am Groot for the John Wick universe? I am Klaus. Natalia Tena, however brief her time on this film, yeah. She was also in Game of Thrones, where she was able to take it all off.
Yeah, we saw it all.
Yeah. All.
Like, all of it.
All. Folks, they didn't screw around in Game of Thrones. You saw everything.
Yeah, and it was a little well, let me not get on a tangent about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're disappointed that you saw everything of the women, but not the guys, right?
There were 6 times more nudity for the females than there were for the males. Like, come on.
It's a guy's show. They don't want to see the wang.
Listen, as a fantasy liker connoisseur,
I get it. No, I get it.
Come on. Don't be
As
sexist.
a connoisseur.
Watch Wild Things. You'll get to see Kevin Bacon's. Apparently.
Oh,
yeah, Kevin Bacon. Yeah,
young or
now
old?
He's Kevin Bacon, or that movie was done in like the 90s or late 90s.
Okay, so younger. Okay.
Yeah, like 20 odd years younger. But anyway, getting back to it, we are introduced to Killer Harkin, Scott Atkins, Baba Yaga. See Baba Yaga. He's a fat fuck with asthma. And oh my god,
that laugh.
Scott, that laugh, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I'm still having a hard my brain is still trying to comprehend Scott Atkins in a fat suit. Yeah. As much as I have seen Scott Atkins be a great martial artist, which he is. He even has his own YouTube channel and whatnot. And it's like, you doing martial arts, spin kicks and shit in a fat suit.
And you could tell it was a fat suit when he was doing his martial arts, because it looked like a skinny guy with a pillow.
It folded. Yeah, it folded.
I was like, bro, you're way too agile for this. No, you're not fooling anybody.
You're too agile for being a fat guy. No offense, but
right.
Not to mention, this dude supposedly has asthma.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to do martial arts in a and he's supposed to be like, what, 300 fucking pounds, fat suit, and he has asthma, and he's able to do all the martial arts? I'm sorry, but dude, you guys went from fucking John Wick to John what the fuck?
Yeah, this last movie was a little bit more difficult just for me watching. I was like, oh, because the first one you're like, sweet, this dude, cool. As far as action movies go, it's it's a solid 10 out of 10. I think I gave rating on the first one. And then once we get to the fourth one, you're like, come on, bigger isn't always better. You don't have to do all of these weird gimmicks in it. But I was looking up the kill count just for funsies, how much his kill count is, and just fun little movie trivia. There's an average kill every 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Holy shit.
Dang.
The first 3 movies, he gets 299 kills in the first 3. And then in the fourth one, he kills about 140 people.
So that's like fucking 300 or 400 people.
400, yeah, 400-ish among, like, between all 4 movies. Yeah.
430 some odd people.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But
yeah, 439 is the official kill count of John Wick.
439 through all the way into chapter 4.
Chapter 4, yep.
That's like 100 or that's like 110 people per movie.
Per movie, yeah.
Average.
Right.
Average.
Yep. On average, yeah.
Because in the first one he only kills like 30 or 40.
John Wick features 77 on-screen deaths, a number that rose to 128 in Chapter 2, Chapter 3, 94, and then 128 in the last one.
Holy shit, man!
Yeah,
dang,
fun movie trivia.
The Riot Kitty there with the jokes. He learned controlled breathing from Demon Slayer Core. That's an anime that I actually like. That's continuing so far. I actually do like that. And I find it interesting that Nezuko is actually getting back into talking and such, which is nice.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely a good one, right? Yep, definitely John what the fuck, right? Yeah, Geek Detective Tears. So we then get the botched hand of poker with the 5-card draw and the cheating hand, and he then drops the big line when he's in the wet fighting area. You shot me in the ass. Because he did. John shot him in the ass.
Yeah, he did.
And for those of you who don't know, there's that line from NCIS where Gibbs shoots his ex-wife's husband in the ass to kill a bad guy because it goes through the ass and into a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you shot me in the ass. That's exactly how it's done too.
Yeah, that was great because Gibbs got some pleasure from that.
Oh, yeah. If I didn't know any better, I think the John Wick series was going for a Guinness World Record.
I know, right?
Right. So then he gets kicked down into a water area, and he kills a bunch of them. Then he finally goes after Harkin, and he's like, "Why won't you just fucking die?" So he kicks him over the edge and fucking kills Harkin. This big fat fuck dies from getting his neck snapped at the bottom of the stairs.
It looked like his face was caved in, though, too.
Not really.
From landing on the step?
No, it was just his neck just snapped. And so, believe me, Riot, when you see that episode, you'll get a good laugh out of it. Or you could look it up on YouTube. Gibbs shoots his ex-in-law in the ass or whatever. But anyway,
and then like his death face too was like,
yeah, his death face is like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, at least it's going to make it easier to get the teeth out.
Now here's the problem I had.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's a problem I had with that scene too. It's like, for a confirmed kill, you would think not bringing the teeth, though. I mean, it's easy to fake that. Wouldn't it be much more simpler to just bring the head, though?
He didn't have anything to cut the head off with.
I mean, he had the hatchet, didn't he, when he threw it?
He left it upstairs. Me, I would have done this. Taken all of the teeth. I would have taken all the damn teeth. And it'd be like, there you go. But hey, tooth was enough. And we also learned, because the tracker was going after Wick again. Plus, Kane showed up. Tracker showed up at the card game and whatnot.
That card game was so funny too. Like he's a total dick. He's like, yep.
Yep. Cheating prick. Yeah, total prick. But also, we see that John can use a weapon out of anything. He uses a freaking playing card to slice his neck and to slice another dude's neck because he's like, and then just throws, or card throws. I'm good at card throwing, by the way, folks. I'll have to show you guys sometime, but not here. So we then see the Ruska Roma ritual of returning to the fold. You are a child of Belarus. Your life is our life. Your blood is our blood. And whatnot. Your pain is our pain. And so you get the burn right here. And then you get some vodka poured on it. And then you take some swig. And they will second his or they will endorse his challenge on the high table. And so we then see or we also learn before that Kane stops the tracker, and we learn that he gave his eyes. He willingly gave his eyes, because also, if you look at Kane, his eyes are scarred, meaning they cut his eyes to ensure that he would go blind. So yeah, it is still
like kind of. It gave me some like Repo the Genetic Opera vibes, or just, you know what I mean? Did you guys ever see that?
Say that again.
The Repo the Genetic Opera. There was this girl who had those eyes given to her. You know, people just anywho, off topic, but it was reminiscent of that, of like cutting out someone's eyes. I was like, oh my god, it's like Repo, where they take back body parts. It was just, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, no.
Interesting take, right? So yeah, we then see that the Ruska Roma, or Winston, then delivers the duel challenge, and I love what he says. The lesson to all tyrants, or something like that, or a lesson to all to all
marquises.
Yeah, because this is in the Louvre. He's in the Louvre, the Hall of Tyrants, basically, is what I call it, or the Hall of Tyranny. But I love how Winston plays to the ego of the Marquis. He's like, you could be the first one to bring John Wick into the light.
Yep.
And he asks him, what is his terms? Victoriae fiduciae, which means confidence of victory. John is to be relieved of any and all obligations under the table. And as John's second, I want to be, or my excommunicata lifted, my managerial post reinstated, as well as the Continent, or the new New York Continental, rebuilt on the table's expense. So it's like, dude, you really covered your bases there.
That he did.
So then he's like, I will miss you when you're gone. Pity I can't say the same. You don't know, do you? A second, like a sponsor, either walks away with his champion or is buried beside him. The old ways.
And then I was walking.
Yep.
Just here.
And he's like,
such is life.
Such is life. Yikes, girl. I've seen the first and second one, but I didn't remember that. Example, Equalizer stabs a guy through the eye from the back of the head and proceeds to continue to shoot his gun while it is still lodged in the head. I don't remember that. And I've seen both of them recently. First two recently. But anyway, we then get the meeting between Wick and the Marquis with the Harbinger as witness. And we see the rules, or the setting, or the time, rather. He's like, the time. Sunrise. Now. Well, John Wick drew the short straw. So, sunrise. Oh, it's from Equalizer 3? Okay. Well, I haven't seen Equalizer 3. Thanks for ruining it for me, Riot. No, I'm just kidding. You didn't ruin it. But he's in the place. The Santa de Prompte. Sacre-Coeur. Well, okay. It's going to be Sacre-Coeur, sunrise, dueling pistols, 30 paces, 10 paces is the first shot survived. No quarter is agreed on. Blades, which was overridden by John's higher number. And the Marquis nominates Kane to fight for him for the freedom of his daughter.
For him and his daughter.
Yeah, for him and his daughter. And we then see Kane and John at the church speaking of their pasts. And he's like, who are you talking to? My wife. You think she can hear you? No. Then why do it? I might be wrong. You know? Dad can't hear us, John. We're both damned. On that we agree. Which is a line from the first movie when he says that we are both, or we are all damned. Or when Vigo says that to him. So then we see that the Harbinger speaks to the Marquis, telling him that his ambition should not exceed his worth because he risks making Wick a saint if he is victorious. And if he is, it will shake the very foundation of the table. We also see that the Bowery King is in France, branching out, and he hands him a new
suit, top of the line.
Suit, top of the line, and ballistic chic. Besides, a man needs to look his best when it's time to get married or buried. Love that line. I mean, I really think I should turn it into a GIF, but they unfortunately are not doing a lot of clips of John Wick Chapter 4 yet on YouTube. So then we learn from the Marquis, because they cut over to the Marquis, that there are three types of men. Someone or something to live for, something to die for, and something to kill for. John Wick is none of these. He is a ghost in search of a graveyard. Kane is all three. So he then raises the bounty to 26 million and calls out a seek and destroy so that John Wick will not get to the church on time. And all the killers in Paris are arming up. Yeah.
I felt like that was pretty cheap of him, too.
For sure.
Well,
he's like, I'm going to make him go through all of these other people. It just kind of proved how scared he was to do the duel, you know?
Yep.
And part of me was like, wait, if the High Table knew about this, since he represents the High Table, like, are these actions...
Nope.
Represented by the High Table.
They couldn't have stopped him. They couldn't have stopped him. They gave him Autem Imperator.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
That's true.
Right.
They gave him absolute authority. They wanted Wick gone, So they allow
by
they
any
unleash
means
him.
necessary.
Yep.
Essentially, yes. So then he gives, so then he's like, I'm gonna need a gun. And we get the 9mm Pit Viper with a 21 round capacity magazine, built-in compensator for virtually no muzzle flip, fiber optic front sight, ambidextrous safeties, flared mag well for faster reloads, 2-pound extreme trigger, and armor-piercing bullets. So for more of those, shall we say, extreme up close and personal encounters, this Viper has ferocious fucking fangs, which basically means armor-piercing rounds. So then he's like, how close can you get me to the church? And they have the big under bridge tunnel. And he's like, well, and I told you that you not to dip your pinky back into this pond. I didn't think I would get wet. And so he's like, well, what did you put on Sharon's grave? Simply a friend. Summed up his life perfectly. And he's like, or they get to talking what they got their plots on. Long live the king. Modest, prophetic. It's like, and so John says, loving husband. What? My grave. John, loving husband. And so that, or Winston will, or says he'll do it for him. So then we get to the race to the church, the insane stunts, the Arc de Triomphe. We really don't need to go there because it's all fucking nuts. We then get the tracker back in play. Yep. The $35 million
super long scene. You know,
It was like 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not going through all that. So but I will say this. I like how the tracker's like, all right, he's going through all your men. 35 million it is, right? Yeah.
That's not like he keeps on raising the price.
And then so the guy, he calls the tracker back and he's like, now you listen to me, 40. The fuck?
Click.
And then we get the Dragonfire rounds, which was nice, and the Great Sky View. But when the tracker versus John Wick, we will discuss this because that Spanish prick is about to kill the dog, and John Wick has the tracker dead to rights, but the dog is about to be shot, and John Wick has PTSD at that moment. So it's like
he's like, no, not another dog.
No, you're not getting the dog.
Save this one. It's like, I can save this dog. I will save this dog. And that, in fact, puts the tracker in debt to John. So, yeah. We then get to the stairs, and the insane up the stairs, and then Kane helps him. So then the tracker kills the Marquis man, and the dog pisses on the corpse's head.
What I found funny too is like when he has like John Wick's in sight too, the dog's looking at him like, "Come on, help him!"
Yeah,
it's like going no, gets the Marquis man,
and so then we get to the sunrise duel, and I like how they're taking off all their coats, and you hear the clattering of bullets.
Yeah, like from John taking his like coat off and everything. It's like, damn.
And then we get to the duel. The first shot is both of them hitting the arm. The second is a gut shot for Kane, and a shoulder shot for John. And so they come all the way up to their last steps, and John Wick says, those who cling to death live, and Kane says, and those who cling to death or life die. So the third shot gets John Wick in the gut, and John Wick saved his bullet, and I love that because it's
like the Marquis was like going, no, let me take over.
The coup de grace. And he's like, Moose. You arrogant asshole. He didn't shoot. consequences.
And then you see the shock on his face, like,
oh, he's like,
yeah, because he wasn't paying attention. Like, if you can hear that he didn't shoot if you're listening.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you can see that he didn't shoot.
Yeah, because I saw this on the first time, and it's like, I didn't hear his shot, did I?
Yeah, I said the same thing in the theater. I was like, that's not right. He didn't shoot.
Yeah. And then we get that, and, well, I like when the Harbinger goes up to the Marquis. He's like, you are free from all obligations under the table, Mr. Wick. You are free. And you, Mr. Manager, we will honor your conditions. And you are also free, as well as your daughter. Okay, and so then gentlemen, these proceedings are now closed. And then everybody walks off, grabs dueling pistols, leaves the Marquis. So yeah, he's gonna just bleed out in the soccer course courtyard. And well, then we get the final shot with John. Winston, will you take me home? And he's like, absolutely. Now, folks, we then get him going down, dropping all of his stuff. This is why I say he dies. This is why I say that John Wick is indeed dead.
Are people arguing that he's not?
Yeah, because there's a 5th movie in production.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
See, they're hinting throughout the entire film that he's gonna die.
Right.
And like they lay all of these breadcrumbs of, you know, of him dying.
Supposedly, too, there's supposed to be like an alternate ending too on that, from what I've heard, but I don't know.
But all I know is that here's the thing. Here's why he died. He is taking off all of his stuff, his gun belt and all of it, dropping it on the stairs to Soccer Corps. He sits down. He sees the sunrise. His life is passing before his eyes. He's remembering his wife, and his last word is Helen before he slumps over dead. That is a man who is accepting his death.
Yeah.
He's done. He's accepting his death. He also just won he won his freedom. He is no longer going to be hunted by the high table. I mean, he is free from all obligations to the table. He just won his freedom. What reason would he need to go after the high table anymore? His war is over.
There's no more story for him.
It's an impasse.
Which I thought was a fitting ending. Like, give him the death that he deserves from being in this life of being an assassin and whatnot. Like, it was a good death for him. He got his freedom. He paid for it. He died on his own terms. That's a great ending to it.
And as it said, those who cling to life die.
Right.
He is clinging to life so he could kill the high table.
Right.
So it's like, there's no reason to anymore. So then we get the funeral, essentially, for John Wick at the graveyard. John Wick, loving husband. Helen Wick, loving wife. And BK, Bowery King, has the dog. And Winston refers to John, or says, "Das vidanya," goodbye, my son. Now, if you look at John or Winston's hand, he has the Ruska Roma cross tattooed to it. I think that Winston is John Wick's. Where the hell did Kate go?
She's back.
Oh, I don't. All right, good. There, I see it.
I would suggest watching the Continental.
I need to let her back. Okay, there you are.
So
you're back now? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
Kate?
I didn't drop out on my end. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear
her.
Are
you still... Oh, great.
Can you hear her?
I can hear her.
I can
hear both of you.
Oh, my.
What the fuck?
Oh. Well, I'll pause what I was going to say then.
Oh. Okay, now I can hear her, I think.
Okay.
Is it your internet? Because I'm pretty sure it's not mine.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but it just showed that you left.
I haven't left at all.
She has not.
Holy shit! It showed that you dropped out.
That's weird.
I mean, she dropped out
That
for
is
me and then
fucking
like
weird.
came back in a sec. So
That's
Yeah.
weird.
That's what happened.
Maybe bring that up to StreamYard as well. Be like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking to them. I mean, this is stuff that I'm noticing here, and that's why I'm saying it aloud so that they know. But anyway,
Right.
I do believe that Winston is John Wick's father.
I would hold off and watch the Continental, because there is a theory that the two main characters who are friends with Winston in the Continental may be John Wick's parents. So I don't know if you have seen the Continental or not.
I haven't.
But
I can't.
I'll have to check that out then.
But there are a lot of theories bouncing around, and your theory, Orange, might change if you get to see the Continental.
All right. Well, because the reason why I say that is because he has the Ruskaroma cross on his hand.
For sure.
He says, "Goodbye, my son."
It's like I said, it's a good theory. But I don't know if it's I haven't seen the Continental either, but the theories going around are the couple who are the main characters in the Continental could perhaps be John Wick's parents.
I'll have to check it out then.
It's just a theory. Nothing's, as far as I know, has been confirmed yet.
All right. Well, also then there's the credits, and then there's the ending post-credit scene with Kane is now free,
Akira.
so he's going to see his daughter, and yet Akira is there, and it's getting really close, and then you see a knife or the knife blade pop out of the knife, and they cut it immediately like that, because here's the thing. Remember, he is blind. However, he's extremely sharp. The second that knife came out, he would have been alert, because he would have heard it. Even in the bustle of the crowd, or even with the bustle of the crowd. And so that is the end of John Wick Chapter 4. So, Fade, how would you score it?
Give me just a sec to look on my notes here. As a fan of action, I would give it a 9 out of 10. But as someone who, like, for the plot points and everything, or the plot holes and everything, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Just because there's some continuity there and all that, so.
Yeah. Kate?
I would go similarly. I like action flicks, but even the action in this movie got a little bit laborious. Like I had previously mentioned, I fell asleep during one of the fight scenes in the theater, and woke up and I didn't miss any plot. So that's kind of a detriment to the film. If you can sleep through 10 to 15 minutes of the film and not miss anything, that's kind of a negative in my book. So overall, personally, I would give it a 7.5. Yeah, out of 10.
Right. As for me, I will, objectively speaking, this movie is a 7 out of 10. There are problems that the pacing drags on. The suspension of disbelief does get heavy. Yeah. It's like you gotta literally put aside all of your belief in some of these scenes. So yeah. However, it is a John Wick film. I do like the Wick movies. I will give it a 9 out of 10. I like the first one is my all-time favorite. The third one is my second, so it goes 1, 3, 4, 2.
For me, it's 1, 2, 4, and then 3.
All right. What's your from favorite to least?
Least favorite would be 4. My favorite is 1. I think it was like 1, 3, 2, 4 would probably be my ranking.
All right, yeah. So me 1, 3, 4, 2. Her 1, 1, 2,
3,
or
2,
1,
4.
3, 2, 4, and yours is 1, 2, 4, 3.
4, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. So that is all, folks, of the John Wick. Next week begins Tolkien Sundays. I will be discussing the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
The only way you should watch them, to be honest.
Yes. For the next 3 weeks. I will be inviting Hat Crew on first. They will get first invites, and then I will invite anybody else who may want to join for it. I do believe Kate said that she would like to join.
Oh, yes, those are my favorite films.
So,
let's go.
Also, previous Hat Crew, Riot, you will get an invite. Geek Detective Pierce, you also get an invite if you want to join.
Since the movies are close to like 4 hours, how are we doing the reviews if we're not doing scene by scene?
We are not going scene by scene. We will be doing. We will be going like just over our favorite parts here and there.
Okay, like theme wise, and then okay.
Yeah, it is definitely not going scene by scene. 1, 3, 2, 4 for Geek Detective Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Yeah, longest stream
because
ever.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would get my watch time up. It really would. But I'm not going 6 hours, folks. I will do 6 hours for a birthday stream. I will do 6 hours for Christmas streams or whatever. But I will not do 6 hours for a freaking review stream. I'm sorry. That ain't happening. So, yeah, I will be doing the extended editions for Lord of the Rings for Sundays. Make sure that you all tune in for Tuesday theme stream, 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, where I will be doing Live, Die, Repeat. And Tuesday night, Barroom Podcast. Wednesday on Mars, 8 o'clock p.m., I will be doing Halloween 2. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. And then Silver Bullet for Thursday singles. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Riot, Geek Detective Pierce, and Vanya, and anyone else that may have been in the chat that I didn't notice. For that, I apologize. Let's see here. No, just seems to be those three. But anyway, thank you to all who are in the chat who even didn't watch or chat up. But yeah, you all are freaking awesome people. You all have a wonderful night. And I'll see you all next week and also during the week. And I'll also be getting other content out for you as it comes along. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews or Orange Hat, rather, no longer reviews. This has been Orange Hat and the Hat Crew. You all have a wonderful night. And always remember, stay humble.